Hello everyone, this is Sarah of thehealthyhomeeconomist.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make a dish that's going to make your children and your family very, very happy and you very, very happy because you're going to be getting lots of nutrient-dense, grass-fed raw butter into them and they won't even know what you're doing. Isn't that great? Moms always love to have a little trick like this in their back pocket, especially for maybe those children who don't really like butter very much. It's kind of hard to get the butter into them. As we moms who really know the story about nutrition all know, butter is one of the very best foods you can feed your children. You want your child to develop their IQ potential, their physique potential to its absolute fullest and have their health expressed as best as it possibly can. Butter is one of the #1 foods you should be seeking to put in every dish and that your children get a good amount of every single day. Pay no attention to this low-fat nonsense that is out there today that is steering you toward these butter substitutes. Be not fooled. These butter substitutes are not good for you. These vegetable oils are not good for your health. Prior to any of these butter substitutes being on the market, America had a very, very low incidence of heart disease, and this is when they were eating lots of butter and cream. All the heart disease and the skyrocketing cases of arteriosclerosis have come about since butter substitutes and factory fats such as Crisco and partially hydrogenated fats. When those types of fats hit the market, that's when heart disease started to go. It's not butter's fault. Butter is a wonderful traditional food. I have a number of blogs on my site that can give you the history of this and lots of traditional cultures that have relied on butter for their health. So do your research. But those of us that know that butter is a wonderful food and want to seek to get it into our children as much as possible, let me show you a delicious dish that you can whip up in minutes in your kitchen that will enhance their health and delight their taste buds. So what I've got right here is 1 pound of raw, grass-fed butter. And look how beautiful and yellow this butter is. That deep yellow color is from the cows eating lots of wonderful green grass in the pasture. It tells you that this butter is a very high quality. Poor quality butter is not very yellow. And you want to get your butter as yellow as possible. That indicates that the cows are eating lots of green grass. The butters in the store, you notice, from cows that are eating primarily grain, are a very pale color, even a cream. And they even the manufacturers have to add some annatto to the butter to give it some sort of a yellow color. Otherwise, it would be basically white. If you take cream, pasteurized cream from the store, and make butter with it in a little jar, like kids sometimes will do for science projects at school, you'll notice that the butter that comes out of that is white. That is not a very nutrient-dense butter. This is the kind of butter that you want to get for your family. Deep, deep yellow butter. And this is a full pound of it. 2 cups of butter. And this is softened in this bowl. It's quite soft now. And I'm going to make this into carob peanut butter fudge. And look, this is just a ton of butter. Your kids are going to get a lot of butter just with 1 small piece of fudge here, and that's what you want. A dish that they will enjoy eating but has tons of nutrition in it as well. So the next thing you need to put in, now that you've got 2 cups of grass-fed raw butter, is 1 cup of peanut butter. Creamy, organic peanut butter. Now the best way to make peanut butter is to, of course, to take the peanuts, soak them yourself, dry them out in a warm oven, and then grind them into peanut butter. That is the very best way to do it because that reduces the phytic acid tremendously and increases the nutrient absorption. In a pinch, if you don't have any of that on hand, you can seek out a good quality organic roasted peanut butter, such as Arrowhead Mills. Although I do not recommend using this type of peanut butter all the time, you do want to, because of the high levels of phytic acid in there, you really do need to be making your peanut butter yourself, if at all possible. So, you've got a cup of creamy peanut butter here, organic. And the next thing you're going to want to put in here is 1.5 cups of local raw honey. And make sure you get unheated honey. Sometimes it'll say raw when it actually has been heated, so make sure you check with your beekeeper personally that this is unheated honey. And I've got 1.5 cups here, which I'm going to pour. This is going to make, we're going to make quite a bit of fudge here. This is going to be a snack that will last you quite a long time and will be wonderfully healthy for your family. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a full teaspoon of Redmond all-natural sea salt. Make sure you get yourself a quality salt. It's very important. And the next thing we are going to add is 2 teaspoons of organic vanilla extract. And the next ingredient we're going to add is a tablespoon of organic chocolate extract. Because this, you notice, is going to be carob peanut butter fudge, so it is going to not have any cocoa in it. You don't want to be feeding a lot of chocolate to your children so that they get hyper on you. So we're making carob fudge here, but adding a little chocolate extract will give it that chocolatey flavor without the caffeine. And finally, we're going to add 1 cup of carob powder. Then the next thing you're going to do is just simply mix all these ingredients together. And that will take a couple of minutes, and we'll pick up after I fully mix this. Welcome back. I've mixed our fudge really well here in the bowl, and we're ready for the next step. Before I move on to the next step, I just want to say one more thing about the butter. I mean, after all, this is the reason I make this fudge, was to get butter into my family. Really wonderful quality raw butter. I realize not all of you out there may be fortunate enough to be able to get deep yellow raw grass-fed butter in your area. Just because you may not have access to this wonderful food doesn't mean you shouldn't make this dish. Get the best quality butter you can, even if it's just at the supermarket. In our local area, our supermarkets carry an Irish butter called Kerrygold, which is a wonderful yellow butter. And in a pinch, if I'm out of raw butter, I will use that. So ask around, maybe ask some of your friends who may be a chef or know a chef, because chefs really love good quality butter. They know what kind of flavor that can impart to their dishes. So ask around for your friends who are into gourmet cooking or chefs that you know, and find the best quality butter in your area if you cannot get raw pastured butter from a local farm. So with that, let's move on to the next step. We've got our fudge here. You can see I've made a lot of fudge. When I make this, I make a big batch. And you're going to want to spread a piece of parchment paper onto a large pan that's not too deep. And I usually just, believe it or not, I stick this bowl up on the counter and I let my kids have at it and lick out of it. So you can do that. Don't worry about scraping it too clean if you have some kids who can help you with that job. And then I spread it out here in the pan, so it's about a ½ inch thick. On the parchment paper will keep it from sticking. It's nice and thick, so you don't have to worry about it running over the edges. And it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. You just kind of spread it. It's almost like a frosting, really. A frosting that you might put on a cake that you make. Just spread it out nicely, so it's about like that. And then you're going to actually put this pan into the freezer. Keep this in the freezer at all times. Even once it sets and gets nice and hard, keep it in the freezer. And then you just bring it out whenever you need it, cut little squares and serve it as you need it. And when the kids get home from school today, my kids are going to be very, very happy to know that I've made fudge while they're at school, and they're going to have a wonderful, healthy mid-afternoon snack for when they get home. This is Sarah, the Healthy Home Economist, and I'm wishing you all the best in the kitchen.